didn't see you there. Would you guys like to set sail on this ocean of flavor with me? I'll be your captain. I'm Steve Harrington.
And I'm Collin.
And I'm Whitney, and this is Scoops Ahoy, a Stranger Things podcast where we go week by week, chapter by chapter, taking a look at every single episode of Stranger Things. We have now made it through every single episode, and we are now in the deep dark void as we wait for season 5. But there was a little bit of light, like a little teeny pinprick of light at the end of the tunnel, maybe now that the strike's over.
The strike is over and the Duffers are in Georgia. So that's that's progress.
Yes. And I think if you guys don't follow Kara, I think she's under Stranger Things Lady on Twitter. She does like the best, like she has really good up-to-date info about where they are in filming, and like she knows all the background about like when the table read is, all that sort of stuff. So if you want to keep up with that sort of thing, I would highly suggest following her.
Yeah, I'll link to her in our social links so you guys can find that easily. So yeah. But yeah, that's exciting. So
I know. I really think there's a possibility we could get it in 2024 now.
That's optimistic, but
I think it'll be a Christmas.
Yeah. I think so too, based on some of the things that we've seen.
Yes.
Some of the,
And so that times with, a year from now,
yeah,
to possibly get it.
It's just so funny hearing you, like at the beginning of each one, say, we've made it through every single episode. It's like, yes, we have for a year and a half. We have been through every single episode. Yep. Nothing has changed. We're still in
But we're still here.
We are. Year and a half later, we're still here. So okay, before we get into things, I wanted to go through a couple of things first before we get into this week's episode. We need these 80s songs, which should be fun. Whitney and I were actually talking and want to kind of get your guys' take on this too. We have been considering doing a Patreon feed, and we've also been considering doing some merchandise, and wanted to kind of get your guys' take on that. If you would be either interested in either, none, or both. Patreon, we don't really know what kind of form that would take. Obviously, we would keep the costs, way low. It's not about, making money.
I think Patreon, you can donate however much you want.
Yeah. I know things have different levels. You can do $1 a month or whatever. So, but just to give a little bit more content and stuff like that. So
we had someone ask for it. They asked if we had one. So I talked to Colin. I was like, we don't, but should we? Like,
we might. Who knows? And then kind of merchandise wise, we've always kind of toyed with the idea of doing, T-shirts with the logo of the podcast on it, or coffee mugs or stickers or something like that. So if you guys are interested in either, both, or none, let us know. And if you are interested in either or both, let us know kind of what you're might be looking for, whether it's a particular kind of merchandise or a particular kind of content for the Patreon or whatever, and we will go from there. So
either way, we're not going to be offended if you say no. So I just
absolutely. We're just curious because we have no idea. We're happy to do whatever, but we don't want to assume, because you guys are the ones that would be devouring the content. So it's no skin off our nose, but just wanted to see what you guys think.
No.
So
right.
Okay, so let's get on to the episode this week, which is a list of songs, mainly from the 80s, but songs that have not yet made an appearance in Stranger Things that we think would be very appropriate, or we, just like the song and would like to hear it somehow, or whatever, based on Stranger Things so far. So thanks again to Stefan and Quinn, both of whom suggested this as a topic. So we're going to do that. And then thanks also to Harry, who had a great suggestion, and that is putting together a Spotify playlist of all these songs. So I'll be doing that. Actually, I'm doing it between the time of recording and the time of release. So when this releases,
hopefully
there will be a Spotify playlist, and we will also link to that too. So you guys can go and listen to, I think all but one of these songs is on Spotify. As I was going.
Oh, really?
But I think there was only one that wasn't on Spotify. So, and it was one of Tom Waits' songs that Harry suggested. So,
I think you know this about me, but like I am terrible at knowing the names of songs. I know a lot of the songs, But half of the time we're going to be talking and you're going to tell me, I'm going to be like, yep, sounds great. But I will not have any idea what it is until I go and listen to it.
Yeah.
Like half of yours, I'm like, I know two.
Really? Yeah. Oh yeah, I can see that. Yeah. Yeah.
But like if I hear them, I'll know them. But I'm looking at your titles and I recognize two.
Yeah.
So
okay. All right. So let's get into this. I know we basically Stranger Things tries to keep it within the time frame. They're
Little
not doing, generally they try to.
Mhm.
So the show left off on March 29th, 1986 in their timeline. So anything after that, obviously anything before that is fair game, but so we're kind of looking for things maybe in the 87, 88 range, depending on what year it is when they, when they come back. But again, we're not staying hard and fast to that by any stretch. So, okay, I will start with my 5. I put a list of 5 together, and bear with us a little bit because of the editing might get a little funky, but it should work out all right in the end. Because we have clips for most of these songs, so you guys can play through that. I went through and I ran them all through the YouTube copyright infringement generator, and they all should be fine. So hopefully we're good. And actually, I probably didn't even need to say that because it should be seamless by the time it gets to you. It's just
right. I was like, why'd you bring it up?
It's just the editing that's going to be an issue. So we'll see how it goes, but I think we should be okay. So my first one is from my favorite ever band from the 80s, and that is In Excess. I have loved In Excess from the very early days of them. I kind of discovered them. I don't really even know how. But I remember even before Shabu Shaba, I think it was their second album, Underneath the Colors. I started listening to them, and Kick is probably still my all-time favorite album. When I got my turntable here, it was the first album that I actually played on my turntable. I love In Excess.
She's Got the Look. Is that In Excess?
That's Roxette. No.
Oh yeah, you're right.
That's The Look. The Look is Roxette. She's Got the Look as Prince. Or You Got the Look as Prince. I'm thinking of
Roxette.
Roxette is,
I'm thinking of Roxette.
Yeah. No. She's got the look. That's Roxette. Yeah. In Excess is obviously New Sensation and The One Thing and what you.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
But Kick was their big album in 1987. So I was trying to figure out a song that I could kind of pick off there that might actually work in Stranger Things. So I came up with this one, Never Tear Us Apart.
And they could never tear us apart.
Which came out as a single in June of 1988. The album came out in October of 87. I still remember buying it. I still remember listening until my ears bled. I just love the album, and I think it's probably top 5 albums of all time for me. So I thought that would be a good kind of moody song. I mean, I like, New Sensation and those kind of songs.
I think
I like a lot better.
I think they used a version of this in the Umbrella Academy.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. In one of the songs. If it's the song I'm thinking of.
Never tear us apart.
Yeah, it is.
Yep. So that's my first one. My second one is from probably my second favorite band from the 80s, and that's Depeche Mode. I was a huge, and still am a huge Depeche Mode fan. So this song is kind of it's not one of their singles. The song is Never Let Me Down Again, but this is the aggro mix, which wasn't really even released. It was kind of a B-side when Music for the Masses came out in August of 87. So this is Never Let Me Down Again, the aggro mix. And I thought that would be good. It's just kind of a really kind of moody, synthy kind of, background atmosphere kind of song, kind of driving, synth kind of stuff. So I thought that would be good. And then probably my favorite song from the 80s is Blue Monday by New Order. So, but the version that we all know from New Order, is just so iconic. It was used in Atomic Blonde and a bunch of other stuff, obviously. And Wonder Woman 1984 had a version of it too. So I kind of actually took my cue from Stefan, and we'll talk more about that when we get to his. But he suggested for one of his songs a trailerized version of a 1980 song. And what we mean by that is essentially what they did with Separate Ways, the Journey song last season for Stranger Things.
Like what they did with Thriller and season 2.
So they take the song and it's kind of re-recorded and remixed and slowed down. And so it's called the trailerized version. So this is a trailerized version of Blue Monday by Pitchhammer.
How does it feel to treat me like you do when you've laid your hands upon me?
Again, the original song came out in 1983. This is a remix that was just done, a couple years ago, or within the past 10 years or so. But I really love the whole Blue Monday idea. And I thought it'd be kind of neat to do a trailerized version, which leads me to my next one, which is Mad World by Tears for Fears. And another
The song is so depressing.
It is a very depressing song.
All I think of is Donnie Darko.
And you think it's more depressing than check out this version, which is which is the trailerized version by Zwei, which is I think they're a German synth pop outfit, but they again just redid this. The original song came out in 1982. But this is the trailerized version of Mad World, so get your Kleenex out.
Find it hard to take when people run in circles. It's a very, very
Yeah, it's just, I mean, good Lord, could you make a song more slow and more morose? But yeah.
All I think of is Donnie Darko.
I've never seen that, actually. I probably should at some point.
I don't know if you'd like it.
Yeah. It's never been on a list of songs I wanted to watch, so we'll put it that way.
It's like super trippy.
Yeah.
And one of those it's one of those movies that people tell you like, oh, if you don't like it, then you don't understand it.
Right.
And
yeah.
It's
a work of cinema. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Don't like that.
Yeah. And my last song, speaking of very slow and very, depressing songs, is Queen's Who Wants to Live Forever, which I've always loved. And it came out in September of 86. So kind of would fit in the timeline, I would imagine, somewhere in that realm. So here's a little clip of that. And I just, again, it's just like a typical Queen song. It's kind of all over the place. It's kind of slow. It's kind of grand. It's kind of, big, and then it's small, and, but it's, as far as the lyrics go and the whole who wants to live forever idea and facing mortality and all that kind of stuff. So those are my 5 songs. And I thought I tried to kind of, be a little bit, or have a little bit of variety in it. So
I'm not good at this, I realize.
So that's what I came up with.
Not great at and here's why I had such a hard time, because in my head I don't see a lot of lighthearted moments in the final season, because it's just, I feel like we're just going to be balls to the walls from the time that we start. Like, it's just going to be nonstop them trying to fight Vecna. Hard. It was hard for me to think of songs that would work with the like potential scenes that would happen.
Right.
So in some of mine, like, okay, my first one, it does not go with the timeline at all, but it is like one of maybe my all-time favorite song.
I think it's your all-time favorite song. Yeah.
It might be. You guys have heard me mention it before, but it's Betty Davis Eyes by Kim Carnes. And here's the clip of it.
She got credit gobble, stand off side. She's got Betty Davis eyes.
It came out in 1981, so it doesn't fit the timeline. But the only way I could imagine this song working is if it was if there was like a juxtaposition of something terrible going on, but it worked. kind of like if you ever saw the movie Final Girls, they actually
Yeah.
use this song.
Yeah. There could be
And-
there could be a flashback or something too, which might,
Yeah. So, okay. So it's kind of,
because I mean it is very period specific. It's a very,
it
it's
just
not.
has that sound.
Yeah, you hear it and you're like,
think.
"Ooh, that's an early 80s song." Yeah.
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 So that was my first one. A lot of these you guys are gonna, I Googled like apocalyptic 80s songs because I was trying to think of something that fits.
Well, I
the
Googled,
theme.
top alternative songs of the 80s, just so, to see if there was anything I was going to forget or something.
No,
So,
I went with apparently there was a boom of just nuclear songs about nuclear war, I guess, in the
sure.
80s.
Well, it was on a lot of people's minds, certainly at the time.
So Don't You Forget About Me, which I would love to see them use it. Don't know if they will because it's already just so connected to Breakfast Club.
Right.
I don't know if they would, but I could see them using it at the end.
Yeah. And here's a clip of that. Yep.
Don't you forget about me. Don't you forget about me.
My next one is Forever Young, and a lot of people will connect it to.
I love this song.
I do too. I love this song.
Yep.
And I could see it actually working.
Yeah.
This season somehow I could see it being fit in. So here's a clip of that. It was actually the first time I think I ever heard it was in Napoleon Dynamite.
Oh, right. Yeah.
I think they use it at the prom. They're dancing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then Jay-Z sampled it on
Yes, he
I think
did.
his album, The Blueprint.
I think so. Yeah. I remember hearing it. Yeah.
So it's popular. You've probably heard it before and you just didn't know that's what it's called.
Let's dance in style. Let's dance for a while. Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
And then this one might be my next one might be a little too on the nose, but I think it could be used in I think it could be used in a very funny montage scene of them like prepping for the monster and like getting ready to for the big battle. And it's The End of the World as We Know It by REM. Came out in 1987. Here's a clip of that.
It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it.
I didn't realize that there was such a thing as trailerized versions of songs. I didn't know it had a name.
Right.
Like I thought it was just I didn't know that they made them beforehand. I thought they made them specifically for the trailers. They don't?
A lot of these things, and I know the group that we'll get to when we get to Stefan's, there's a whole industry of these musicians or groups or whatever that make music specifically for trailers.
That's insane. I had no idea that was a thing.
For for people to use in their own personal things. I think I think they do it in the hopes that a studio will go, ooh, let's use that, and a lot of times it happens. But yeah, I mean,
but like the Stranger Things one, like they tie in the Stranger Things music.
Right. Yeah, that was specifically for Stranger Things.
Okay.
Yeah, that was, but I'm sure a lot of these movie studios that are doing these trailers actually, they go on Spotify, but they find or they have these groups or these people that send them these versions of songs,
So I guess that's what I'm saying. This is my bonus song would be, I have this song specifically picked up for the trailer. So it would be some sort of trailerized version of this. I didn't know to look it up to see if that exists already. And it's Where the Streets Have No Name by U2. It came out in August of 1987. It's just got that slow build.
Yeah.
Do it.
Well, I love, and I'll play whichever clip you want me to play, but I love the live version from Rattle and Hum, which is I'm not even a huge U2 fan, but I love Rattle and Hum, the movie, so much. And I was so bummed out when the soundtrack, or the album Rattle and Hum came out, because they didn't have Where the Streets Have No Name on it. And then
Oh.
finally, relatively in the recent past, they did like an expanded version, and they included the version that starts with, it's when the movie goes from black and white to color, and it starts with Larry coming out on stage and ding ding ding, and then it just launches into it, everything goes to color, and it's all crazy and it's awesome. So yeah, I love that song, and I love that version of it. So I'll play whichever version you want me to play. But
I don't know. You can play whatever you want. I will
okay,
let you
so
have...
here's the version. Here's a clip of the live version.
Okay.
From Rattle and Hum. I mean, it's just so awesome. And if you guys haven't seen Rattle and Hum, just skip to about halfway through when it goes from black and white to color, and that is a song. It's such an amazing movie moment. I just love it. So anyway, okay, go ahead.
And my last one, I didn't realize that so many people had picked this song when I chose this song, but it totally makes sense.
Yeah.
But I chose The Final Countdown by Europe. But as we said, there's a couple other people who picked that song, but they chose the trailerized version.
Right.
So that was the song that they would pick to be in.
Yeah, that was Stefan's original one. That's what kind of got this whole ball rolling, as he was saying we should.
Maybe subconsciously I knew that, and like that's why I picked it. I mean, in my head, I just think of the SpongeBob episode where they play it. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do actually. I'd completely forgotten about it, but yes.
Oh yeah, that's what I like immediately connect to with that song. But it is such a good song, like, and it would work.
Yeah.
With this.
Yeah. So we'll talk more about that in a bit when we get to the other emails. But yeah.
Those are mine. I think out of all those, my top one that I would really, really, really want to see would be Forever Young. I don't know if the time has passed for it though, because it's 1984.
Yeah, I mean, I know they kind of go back, to obviously a couple of years, and if you think about like, today, if you turn on the radio, you're hearing songs from 3-4 years ago. I mean, it's not crazy to hear, Call Me Maybe, or a Katy Perry song, or an Ariana Grande song, or something that's not in the top 40 right now. So yeah, I don't know if I had to pick one of my five. I mean, anything in excess would be great, but they don't really fit with Stranger Things.
I want you to look at the version in Umbrella Academy. It's on the Umbrella Academy soundtrack.
Okay.
I can't remember who sings it, but it's really, really good.
Okay. Yeah, and we can post a link to it too, so people can see that too. So but yeah, I think Blue Monday it's just such an iconic song, and it's almost to the point where it's almost overplayed as the 80s song. You think of all the movie trailers and everything. Anytime anything is set in the 80s, you have to be playing Blue Monday. So but I do like that version that I found. So anyway, you want to get into some emails?
Oh, yes.
Oh, actually, before we do that, we completely forgot to mention Spotify Wrapped.
Oh, yeah. Tell them our stats.
Yes. So thank you, obviously, all of you who hit us up in the Discord or Facebook or Twitter or email or whatever and mentioned, how high we are in your Spotify Wrapped. That was really neat to see. So we went in as the artist or the podcaster, I guess, to kind of get our own stats to see how it, how we're doing in the podcast world. So it turns out we are streamed in 70 different countries. Only 56% of our listeners are in the US, which is kind of neat. So 44% of our listeners are outside of the US. And I know obviously Canada and Australia and Greece and the UK and Dubai and all over the place. So that's kind of neat. Most of our new listeners were in Japan for 2023 was number 1. Hong Kong was number 2. Egypt was number 3, and Switzerland was number 4. We had a 45% increase in followers over last year, which is always great, especially because there is no Stranger Things, going on.
Right.
So we were a top 10 podcast for 2,600 fans. We were a top 5 podcast for 1,800 fans, and we were the number 1 podcast for 455 people. somewhere in the world. So
That's exciting.
that's very cool. And
Yes,
obviously we
thank
want to thank all of you who are listening and making it possible. And it's just really neat to, we obviously know how many people listen and download and stuff like that. We get the stats from our server and stuff, but it's just always kind of nice to, get
Yeah.
some validation and know that it's not like bots and,
Yeah,
that kind
it
of
feels
thing.
good. Pat myself.
So yes, thank you all.
Yes.
We appreciate you guys and we're here as long as we can be. So
Yeah, as long as we can. Paloma Faith. That's who sings it. In
okay,
the
I've
Umbrella
heard of her.
Academy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Cool.
Okay. Are we ready for emails?
Okay. Emails.
Yes. Our first one is from Luca. They say, "Hey, Collin and Whitney, how are you? I'm so sorry I couldn't write in for the last few episodes. I've just been so busy. The day your last episode came out, I left with my class to Yosemite. It was so fun. It even snowed, which is very rare where I live in LA. Ooh,
Yep. Cool.
Right now, I'm in Hawaii, which is like a second home to me. Man, you're living the life.
Also no snow, but yeah.
Right? Anyways, here's my song list. Number 1, Take On Me by Aha, came out in April of 1985. We have a clip of it.
Yay.
It's no better to be safe than sorry. Take on me. Take on me. Take me on. Take on me.
Which is, I think that and Blue Monday really are the two like iconic 80s songs, right? I mean, you think of 80s songs. I mean, it's like, I just think, especially with the music video when that came out and stuff, it's just such a, it's almost overplayed, but it's, it's still such a great song. It's incredible.
Wasn't Finn in a video of a remake for Take On Me?
I don't know.
I think he was. Maybe with Weezer.
Could be.
They redid it.
Somebody did redo it. Yeah.
I think Finn was in a music video for it.
We'll look it up. I will, not right now, but I will look it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Number 2 is, we don't have a clip of, it's Free Fallin' by Tom Petty, but it is a great song. Number 3, Sunday Bloody Sunday by U2.
Yep.
Number 4, Sweet Child of Mine by Guns N' Roses, came out in June of 1988, which is maybe my all-time favorite Guns N' Roses song. But we have a clip of it. Here it is. And while I love all these songs, I just am excited to see how they could possibly use them in
Right.
the season.
Yeah.
Because I just don't know.
Yeah, absolutely.
But they always do, because I would never have imagined Hazy Shade of Winter being creepy
no,
in the way they played it. It was.
Yeah. Well,
You
and
know?
even California Dreamin'. Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, makes total sense, but I wouldn't have ever thought that they would have used that, anywhere. So yeah.
Right.
Anything can.
I love this one, Walk Like an Egyptian by the Bangles.
That's a great one. Yeah.
It's just hilarious. Beat It by Michael Jackson. I'm on Fire by Bruce Springsteen. They say, thank
those
you
are all
guys, and stay strange. Sincerely, Luca.
All right. Thanks, Luca. Next one's from Harry. Hello to Whitney and Collin and to everyone listening. I have a list of song suggestions for season 5, and I'll do my best to keep it short, especially since you guys are going to hate 100% of my suggestions.
Why?
I don't know. They're all pretty good, actually. Obviously, the first episode needs to feature the Smiths' Girlfriend in a Coma from August of 87. Here it is.
Girlfriend in a coma, I know it's silly.
Harry says, I know, it's serious.
Have you ever read that book?
No.
It was by the same guy that created the idea. They created the name for Generation X, I think.
I don't know.
Doug something.
I know, it's serious.
I don't know.
Hopefully he says no one is annoyed by that jokey suggestion, but I would laugh and then feel bad about myself, obviously, with Max being in a coma. But that's kind of funny. For the romantic scene with Mike and 11, how about Terrence Trent D'Arby's Sign Your Name? And it's actually, Harry pointed this out. I had no idea that Terrence Trent D'Arby isn't Terrence Trent D'Arby anymore. And he isn't Terrence Trent D'Arby anymore. He's Sananda Maitreya, I think is his name. He has decided to get rid of his Terrence Trent D'Arby persona.
I don't know either of them. So.
Yeah. So here's that song.
Sign your name across my heart.
Harry says they started out as friends, right? The only problem is that song might be too sexy times for their relationship, Mike and Eleven. Then again, the Duffers might surprise us and go Byler. If so, this song might not be sexy times enough. For the scene where Vecna finally returns to his own world and walks the streets of Hawkins, how about Run DMC's You Be Illin'? Because this dude walked in looking strange and kind of funny. Honestly, for a show set in the 80s, Stranger Things suffers from a serious lack of early rap music. They actually did.
I agree.
Yeah. Then when Eleven and the gang go looking for clues at Brenner's house, they'll run into his much neglected adult daughter, who is cleaning out his crap and listening to his favorite music, which is 1910 Fruit Gum Company's May I Take a Giant Step Into Your Heart. And this one didn't clear the YouTube copyright, but it will be on the playlist so you guys can check this out. But it is just such a stereotypical 1960s kind of bubblegum pop, kind of thing. Kind of like Sugar Sugar, one of those.
Yeah.
Which he says it's 60s bubblegum pop with lyrics like, though I may be getting older, my eyes still my favorite game. Girl, I gotta have your permission if our needs to be the same. Which he says are perfect lyrics for an evil jerk like Brenner. Finally, for the scene at the end where Hopper and Joyce are together and the whole crew of little heroes are having a celebratory meal before they all go their separate ways, I would like to hear Tom Waits' Time from 1985.
She said she'd stick around until the bandages came off. But these mama's boys just don't know when to quit. And Matilda asked the sailors,
because it's time that you loved. It's the time. And as a bonus song, he says, speaking of Tom Waits, for the cast and crew rap party, the second to last song should be his Take One Last Look, just to make everyone cry. The last song of the rap party should be something happy and upbeat so people can dance away their tears. And this is the one that I couldn't find on Spotify anywhere. So you can find it on YouTube, and if you Google it, you'll find it. So Tom Waits' Take One Last Look. It's actually a good song and would be great for a rap party. So best wishes, Harry says. I hope the show is in production when you air your next episode. I also hope everyone loves these entirely serious suggestions. Best, Harry in Seattle.
Thanks, Harry. Next up, we have Nemo. Hi, hope you're doing well. My hopes for the soundtrack in season 5 is that it will include the original Heroes 77 by David Bowie. No more covers, please, which I agree.
Yeah.
I think it would be poetic.
Yeah, because the Peter Gabriel version, obviously, we heard many times.
Yeah.
Yep.
Small Town Boy, Stevie Cole Knows Why, and it's a Byler reference. Like that is, they were all thinking that it was going to be, I think a lot of them were thinking it was going to be like the lyrics to that. No. It's on, someone made up a playlist and said that it was on Mike's playlist or something.
Okay.
That's how that came about.
Gotcha.
And maybe please let me get what I want, or heaven knows I'm miserable now. It came out in 1984. We have a clip of that. I skipped.
Yeah, both are by the Smiths, but this is Heaven Knows I'm Miserable Now.
two lovers entwined pass me by, and heaven knows I'm miserable now. I was looking for a job and then I found a job.
They said, I feel like Will and the Smiths would be a good combo in general. I could see that.
Yeah.
Maybe Heroes could play during some kind of reunion after the big fight, since both the times it has played before has been some kind of separation, finding Will's body, and then the Byers moving to California, which I think would be a good parallel. I'd love to see some of the season 1 songs revisited too, or at least some returning artists, maybe The Clash. We're definitely getting The Clash.
Yeah, we'll get The Clash again. And obviously Dixon and Stein will be around too, I'm assuming. There's no reason that they won't be. So we'll have
obviously. But we know the opening scene is going to be, did we talk about that in the last episode?
we did with the
it's going to be a flashback of Will.
Right.
Yeah. So that is it for
okay. Next one is from Stefan, whose fault this whole thing is. So
yes, blame him.
Or Quinn, either one, or both. Stefan says, hi, Whitney. Hi, Collin. First of all, I'm so happy that My Dear with the Songs actually became one of your episodes. Thanks so much. When I thought about the perfect songs for season 5, there was always one song in particular in my head, a dark version of Final Countdown, which we mentioned earlier. So here's the version that he was talking about. It's by Damned Anthem. So check this out. Stefan says, I picture the song playing just before the party has their final fight against Vecna, similar to the dark version of Separate Ways in season 4. I think this could be epic. I think so too, actually. It'd be really good. That's a really good version too. I like it. My second choice would be the original version of Heroes by David Bowie, a song that should be played in the very last scene of the show when we see Mike and Will walk away into the sunset holding hands. I know what you're about to say, Whitney, but let me just read my little dream bit, damn it.
I'm at it, buddy.
My third pick would be I'm Alive by the Hooters.
Got no thorn in my side, got no secrets to hide. I'm completely and utterly amused. I'm alive, I'm alive. It's a beautiful day and I'm happy to say I'm alive, I'm alive.
Which was actually released in 2007, but it's an 80s band, so it still counts. I actually like the Hooters when they came out. They did And We Danced.
Oh yeah.
Kind of and they did another song too, which I liked. I can't remember what it was. So it still counts. It would be the perfect song for a happy end, no matter what it looks like. It's just a happy song. That's it from me. Have a good time. Yours, Stefan.
Hey, next up we have Miss Harriet from Australia. She says, hi, Colin and Whitney. Happy December. 2023 has been on 5 times speed. Yes, it has.
Yes.
It's so weird. Sorry I didn't email last week. Exams took a toll and the end of the school year ended within like a week. So I was pretty much out of it. Oh yeah, she's on like summer break.
Right, yeah.
Because she's in Australia.
Yep.
A mini life update. I'm now on my summer break. I dropped my phone into a boat marina and got stranded on a boat on the same day and found out my primary school best friend is coming back to my school. That's always exciting.
That's fun.
Sorry about your phone. Hope you got it
Yes.
back. To the actual topic, what I want to hear in season 5 Stranger Things, what I want to hear in season 5 of Stranger Things. In terms of period accurate songs, I think an instrumental of Release the Bats by The Birthday Party from 1982. We'll play a clip of that. She says it would be kind of a funny song to play if the demo bats are sent out by Vecna to hunt the kids and they have to defend themselves. It would be kind of funny. I really like the bass and drums in that song, so it would be very cool to hear it.
Yeah, that's a good song. I hadn't heard that one before, actually. That's a good song.
Another one with a good instrumental track that would add to the feelings is Jigsaw Feeling by Susie. Is it Susie?
Susie and the Banshees. Yeah.
Why did I say Susie?
Susie. No,
And the
it's
Banshees.
Susie Sue.
And the Banshees in 1978. Here's a clip of that. She said, I think it would be kind of fun.
There actually are lyrics, but I was kind of pulling the instrumental bit, so that's what that was. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Yep.
I think it would be kind of fun to experiment with that song playing in the background while Elle has a bit of a weird moment or a jigsaw feeling, pun intended, when she is experimenting with her powers, but realizes she can't do everything she has to do anymore and is a bit out of practice with them after being powerless for months and feels she has no real role in the group anymore because she's so used to being the one with powers.
Yeah.
For songs that are not period accurate, I think Inside Out from 1998 by Duster. Or really anything by Deftones would be a cool song to hear in the background of scenes, purely because I love the sound of anything they do, really. And in honor of 1989 Taylor's version coming out a few months ago, I think I would pick 2 of my favorites, either You Are in Love or Clean from 2014.
Pictures of you, the water filled my lungs. I screamed so loud, but no one heard of me. Rain came pouring.
You Are in Love for my babies, Max and Lucas, purely for the line pauses, then says, you're my best friend, because I want them to have like a friends to relationship arc. And Clean for the entire group, as at the end, hopefully they will be clean from Vecna and the Upside Down. Also for the line, I screamed so loud, but no one heard a thing, for Elle when she was in the water tub thingy in season 1 and when she is in her little head void thing.
Yep.
That's all I have for this email. Have a Merry Christmas, everyone. And here's to an announcement of some sort in 2024.
Yeah.
Love, Harriet.
Or new episodes in 2024.
right? Yes.
Yay.
Anything.
Yep. All right. Next one's from Kirsten. Hello, Colin and Whitney. The strikes are over, and we are so close to the start of filming Stranger Things 5. Have you guys seen some of the newest set pictures and the newest set leaks that are floating around? And what do you guys think of them? I'll actually post a link to a couple in our socials so you can see that. Yeah, we haven't really seen a whole lot. It's just been, the bulletin board and, that kind of stuff.
I saw something where they were outside of Mike's house.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we saw the picture of the Duffers. I don't know if it was like their hotel room or the house they were in with their script notebook sitting on one of the tables.
I wonder if people just are constantly on set watching them film. Like if people are just like hovering around
I'm
in
sure.
Atlanta.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially now. Good Lord. I mean, you can't.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, all the people that just go down there just for like, just to see where it was filmed and all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Well, there was a sign in front of Mike's house that was like,
yeah, move along. Yeah.
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 Like you can't just loiter here.
Right. Yeah. Kirsten says it really intrigued me that there was an image in Hawkins High showing a poster of a holiday food drive. Originally, I didn't think they would have that stability in Hawkins following the last scenes of season 4, and I definitely didn't think school would still be on. Do you guys do you guys think that this could have something to do with the time jump? Anyway, it seems like we will be getting a Thanksgiving/Christmas season from what I've seen. Yes, we talked.
I do think that. I wonder if they're just using the. Remember, they were using the school as a shelter.
Yeah, it was kind of the
Did it say Hawkins
distribution
High
center
food drive?
Yeah, I'll post
or was it?
But well, here I can show a clip of it. It just says, Student Council annual holiday food
Student
drive.
Council.
Yeah.
I agree with Kristen. I would not think that school would be back in session, considering there's a giant hole in the middle of town.
Yeah, right.
What do I know? What do I know?
Right. I'm thinking late 2025 seems likely, and after a bit of thinking, wouldn't a Stranger Things Day release be fitting?
Late 2025.
That's what she said. 2025. But I'm thinking, and I like your thought of 2024 much better. So
surely to God.
I know. It can't take them 2 years to film it. God help me.
No offense to Kirsten, but
no.
Like, I think
let's have some optimism here. Yeah.
I think people would riot.
I know. Yeah, because then it would be 2025, so 23 years.
Yeah, that says
3+ years, 3.5 years. Yeah.
That's like longer than they took for COVID.
Right. Yeah. So I don't have much to say this time around in terms of general stuff, so I'll get straight to the topic of this month's episode. There are so many brilliant 80s songs that I think could be used in season 5, depending on the plot of potential events. But I have a list of just a few here. Number 1, Thank God It's Christmas by Queen, which I've never actually heard before. And I'm kind of a Queen fan. Came out in November of 1984. So here's that.
Yes, it's Christmas. Thank God it's Christmas.
Kirsten says, I think depending on the ending situation and the timing of the season finale, this could be a good song for a more somber Christmas ending, and it could even play in the final credits or a final scene. I agree. Yeah, I'm kind of getting over the fact that I've never heard that, but that's okay. Number 2, she says, The Final Countdown by Europe. I think this song would be quite fitting for a song to play in the background when they prepare to go in the final battle against the Upside Down and Vecna. And then number 3, she says, I've Had the Time of My Life by Jennifer Warnes from Dirty Dancing, came out in July of 1987. Says, I think this would be a good song to play if they end up leaving Hawkins at the end. They could play some memories in a montage when they leave, which I agree. Anyway, that's all for now. Enjoy your December, Kirsten.
I thought about Dirty Dancing.
Yeah.
But then I was like, when are they going to have time to see this movie? They're going to be like fighting Vecna.
Right.
So they're not going to, I don't know.
No.
This is how my brain works when I was trying to find.
Be interesting to see. Maybe they rebuilt Starcourt Mall and they can go back and
maybe.
Yeah.
Next up, we have an email from Sam. He says, hello, I am Sam, a 15-year-old guy from the UK, and this is my first time writing in. Well, welcome, Sam.
Yahoo.
I have been listening to the podcast for a while now, and after Spotify Wrapped came out, I found out I was in the top 1% of listeners in this podcast. Thank you, Sam.
Hey, Sam.
So I just thought it was right that I finally write in. I also found out that I'm in the top 0.5% of Taylor Swift listeners. You and my daughter, Sam.
Yeah, but that's no mean feat to be in the top 0.5% of Taylor Swift listeners. All the Taylor Swift listeners out there.
Is that all you're listening to, Sam?
That must be literally. It's either it's like 10 hours of Taylor Swift, an hour of our podcast, and then 10 more hours of Taylor Swift.
Yeah. I know there are some Swifties here. I'm a diehard fan myself. So hi to all the other Swifties. Yes, Sam, I actually created them a little Swifties channel in the Discord so they can talk about her till their heart's content.
Yep.
I am currently watching the whole show again and listening to your podcast on each episode once I finish each one. Anyways, these are my top 3 songs I think we need in Stranger Things 5. Africa by Toto from 1982. I know it's random, but I absolutely love it. And I think it would be great for a moment between 11 and Mike. I totally agree. I love this song.
Yeah.
I just saw Toto live earlier this year.
Yeah, a couple months ago, I think. Yeah.
No, it was February. That's how fast this year has gone by.
Oh, you just saw someone recently though, like in the
Guns
past.
N' Roses.
That's who it was. Yeah.
Yeah. In September. Next they have Uptown Girl by Billy Joel from 1983, which I love. I love Billy Joel. I just think it would be a fun way to start or end one of the episodes, and it's a great song. I agree. It could be one of those like juxtaposition songs where it's something creepy and they like just do the vocals maybe and I think that would be cool.
Or if Billy comes back.
Oh my God, don't give him hope.
I know.
Don't. He's not coming back.
Billy or Eddie. Either one of them comes back.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. No.
Right.
And finally, Sweet Child of Mine by Guns N' Roses, I think would be good for if Eddie somehow came back. Damn. God love you.
I know, right? Okay, next up from Quinn, Ahoy, Collin, and Whitney. Only a few ideas for Stranger Things 5 music. As previously discussed in the air tonight, he mentioned it in last month's episode, from Phil Collins in 1981. This is another one. He said, as the remix and the trailer, he thought this would be a good song and serving a similar role as Separate Ways did. So here is a trailerized version of In the Air Tonight. It's by Joseph William Morgan. Came out in 2015, and this is another one of those. This is what I was talking about, Whitney, with the guys or the groups or whoever that just do these trailerized versions. So he has a whole album of songs like this. So I'm
just gonna go listen to this for like an hour afterwards.
Yeah. So here's his version of In the Air Tonight. Which is it's just I mean it's just perfect.
Well, do you know how often like in my life, like I've always remember we did this, me and you years ago. We wrote articles. We wrote that one, we each got an article published in USA Today.
Right. Yep.
It was mine was like top 5 songs to have a slow motion entrance.
Walk
in a
away
movie,
from
like
whatever.
Yep. So like I constantly think of soundtrack songs like and when Evie was little, when she was nervous about a test or something, I'd be driving her to school and I'd be like, let's find you a song like your entrance song to like walk into school. And so we would find it like, like a song to get her pumped up and not nervous for a test or whatever. So that they have these trailerized versions, I'm excited to go listen.
Yeah, if you just go on Spotify and you search, I think I actually searched trailerized just to see, kind of what was out there. So if you just look up trailerized, you'll come across a lot of these songs that I kind of pulled. So Quinn also says We Belong by Pat Benatar, which came out in 1984. Here's that. Seems most appropriate for when Steve and Nancy get back together. He also says, I would love to hear some Guns N' Roses. Was originally thinking Welcome to the Jungle when the troop heads back into the Upside Down, but that seemed a little too on the nose and the lyrics don't quite line up. Paradise City, he said, would work well ironically when cruising through the current state of Hawkins, or they could use Sweet Child of Mine somehow as a tribute from Mike to Elle. Unfortunately, the best song from Appetite for Destruction, Mr. Brownstone, would not be appropriate. No, it wouldn't, but it's a good song. It's a great album.
I will be shocked if they don't use some Guns N' Roses.
Yeah, I would think so. I'd also like to hear some Beastie Boys. No Sleep Till Brooklyn from '87 could work if the crew needs to travel somewhere in a hurry and or under pressure. The problem I'm running into is there are so many great songs and artists from the area, it's difficult to pinpoint specific songs for specific purposes, especially since season 5 is supposed to be a more action-oriented season. I chose Guns N' Roses and Beastie Boys because they are the first ones that came to mind from that period. I would have been in 7th or 8th grade then, and their songs could work in action or sequences. Other artists that I remember being big then were Def Leppard, The Bangles, Huey Lewis and the News, Fleetwood Mac, Aerosmith, Genesis, Bon Jovi, Steve Winwood, In Excess, rock on, George Michael, and then Bruce Hornsby and The Range. Songs by any one of them would be great additions to the soundtrack. Speaking of which, Throwing It All Away by Genesis and Everywhere by Fleetwood Mac are two of my all-time favorite 80s songs at polar ends of the love genre spectrum. They could work for either a character breakup or getting back together. I love Everywhere by Fleetwood Mac. YouTube zapped it, but it'll be on the playlist. A couple honorable mentions are another song from the 80s, which I loved and I haven't heard in ages, is Heart and Soul by Tapao. Came out in February of 1987. Here's that one. And then he says also Ice House, their song Electric Blue, which he says calls to mind VH1, Vecna Henry 1's Electric Blue Eyes.
Oh, yeah.
But is a poor match lyrically. Anyway, there are still too many. Good luck sorting it all out. Quid. Yes, we will sort it out. And this is why we're here. So, yeah.
Yep. All right. Thanks, Quinn. Next up, we've got an email from Mina. She says, "Hi, Collin and Whitney. This episode is very fitting because Spotify Wrapped came out yesterday. I don't listen to much 80s music, although new wave pop was my top 5 genres. When I do, it's mostly music that is already in Stranger Things because Stranger Things is the only reason I ever listen to 80s music. My favorite 80s songs that are not in Stranger Things are probably Take on Me and Tears for Fears. Everybody Wants to Rule the World, which came out in 1985. Here's that.
Yep.
He says, to be honest, I'm surprised Michael Jackson was not in Stranger Things. He was. The trailer.
The trailer, yeah. The Thriller, yeah.
Thriller in the season 2 trailer. But just like I'm surprised the Beatles were not in it either. But the Beatles are older, I guess.
Yeah, they are older, and there's probably song rights,
Oh, yeah, I bet there's
amount of money they have to pay. But yeah, it is kind of funny because you would think, somewhere in the Halloween, Trick or Treat Freak episode, somebody would have been dressed up like Michael Jackson or, somebody, you would have thought that. But yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. She said, so I can't really answer this question that well because I don't listen to 80s music that is not in Stranger Things. Sorry for the bad email. I love your podcast. It always brightens up my day. Thank you for the hard work. Best wishes, Mina.
Okay, that does it for song recommendations. Again, we'll have the Spotify playlist up by the time this airs, so you guys can check that out. We did have a couple other last emails, unrelated. So this is from Nate. Says, hello, Collin and Whitney. I just discovered your podcast and wanted to say thank you. I strategically waited until recently to binge all the episodes and avoid most of the dark void, surprisingly not remembering any spoilers. I finished season 4 last month and listened to all your episodes soon after. Thank you, Nate. I don't have any music choices for season 5, but would love to hear some of your favorite songs in general. Also, I really hope we hear the Soldier soundtrack again from Dixon and Stein because I love it so much. Yeah, that's this song. Please do another Zoom podcast soon, and sorry for the lengthy email. Thanks, Nate. Oh yeah, that's another thing we should mention.
We should do another.
Yeah, we should get another Zoom podcast going, and we'll try to figure out a time zone that works a little bit better for. I know a lot of our littles are in Europe, and then Harriet just has to be halfway around the world.
I know, Harriet, just move, okay?
Yeah, right. So yeah, but we'll definitely work on that in the next couple months or so. See if we can put together something for that. So thank you, Nate, for that email.
Next we have an email from Hayden. He says, not Hayden. Sorry, Aiden. I've got Hayden on the brain. Hey, Aiden's finally back after like 2 months, and I missed this podcast. Well, we're glad you're back, Aiden.
Yeah.
I honestly wouldn't really mind if they go back in time as long as they keep their memories. I would prefer to have a final battle in present time, but if they have to go back, I'll be okay. I have a theory that if they go back in time, maybe Nancy will split from the group to save Barb, but ends up letting Barb die and moves on and gets over her extreme guilt. I think this is partially because in season 4, when Vecna gets Nancy, it shows her main struggle is the grief over Barb, shown by her being in Steve's pool.
Right.
P.S. The strikes are over. Bye.
Yay.
Hooray.
Yay. And our last email is from Audrey. Hey, Colin and Whitney, how's it going? Happy Thanksgiving and happy holidays. I couldn't think of any songs right now, so this is just more questions. 1, could Eddie be alive? No. 2, do you think Will is going to be the main plot in season 5?
Yes.
Probably, yes.
Probably.
3, is Steve going to die in season 5? No.
No.
If so,
No,
I'm
he's
not watching it. And that's
well,
all for
they've
now.
they've said Will's going to be a major plot line.
Yeah.
Will he be the major plot line? I don't know.
No,
Now
but I think he'll be big. But yes, Eddie will not be alive and Steve is not going to die. So
no, I could see them. I saw this and then I thought about it too. That they said Will might have to die to sacrifice himself. Like he sacrifices himself. And then I thought maybe that's why the Duffers didn't put him with anybody.
Ooh.
Like that's why he's single.
Focus.
But I don't know. That would kill Joyce. It just wouldn't be a happy ending if any of them die.
No. I think they can work around that and they can kill off a little person or the secondary character. That'd
like
be fun.
who?
Oh, I don't know. Owens. I don't know.
Yeah. Like that. But none of the kids.
No.
Even the older kids.
Right. No. Okay, so that does it.
It does it for 2023.
Yeah, it does.
We're
We will
done.
be back on January 4th of 2024. And for our next episode, we're going to get back to our character deep dives and we're going to do Jim Hopper. So, yay, Hopper. Get us your thoughts on Hopper, your favorite things about Hopper, your least favorite things about Hopper, anything you want to tell us about Hopper, get them to us. You could do some fan art if you want. You could make us some fan fiction if you want, whatever you want to do.
Don't make it long. We can't read all that.
No.
Okay.
But yes, get us your thoughts by New Year's Eve, which should be easy to remember.
Yeah.
And then we will.
And to keep him on your mind, you can watch Violent Night. It's Violent Night season.
It is Violent Night season. So yes, check that out. What's that on? Is that on?
I don't know if I bought. I think I bought it. So when I went to look, it just said watch again. I think I own it.
Just to see.
But I think it might be on Prime.
Let's see. It is. Yeah, I think you can rent it somewhere. I was thinking it was Netflix or something, but I don't think it is.
I must own it. If hold on, I'll tell you.
Yeah, so I think you can.
Do you have the Just Watch?
I'm sure it's like on Prime or whatever.
Do you not have the Just Watch app? It's the
I
best.
don't. No, I look it up on Chrome because Chrome tells you exactly.
Yeah,
but
it's on. It's accurate.
It's on Prime for $3.99.
Yeah.
Actually,
it's on one of Prime's subs.
Yeah, it is. I don't know which one though. But yes, you can find it, and it is good.
It is good. It's very gory though.
Yes, it's a hard
maybe
R,
the
but
littles
it's fun.
don't.
Yeah, but it's good.
It's good. It's good.
Okay, so boom.
It does it. All right, everybody. As always, thank you for listening. If you want to email us, you can email us at scoopsahoypod@gmail.com. You can find us on Facebook and Twitter at scoopsahoypod. We have a Discord. If you want to join the Discord and join that discussion, you can talk about Taylor Swift. And then I made a new channel. I've already forgotten what it was.
For the play. The
oh yeah. It was for the play. You can talk about that. Yeah, all that stuff. You can find the link to that at the top of our Twitter, and I think it's at the top of our Facebook pinned.
Yep.
Yes. So, and this podcast is also on YouTube if you want to look at me and Colin while we read your emails. Yeah, this is how we look.
This is us. This is us.
This is how serious I take this podcast as I'm like laying back in my chair.
You're lounging with your feet up.
With my sweats on.
Yeah.
Anyways, as always, I want to thank everybody for listening, and I hope you tune in next time. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye. Stranger Things audio clips and official score are the property of Netflix. Incidental music by Blue Mount Score from